Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We're back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, I'm going to give you my predictions for week number 4 when it comes to the NFL season. Now, 3 games have been played throughout the NFL weekend. It's been some shocking results. Who would have thought that the Pittsburgh Steelers and Justin Fields would be 3-0? Who would have thought the Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold would be 3-0? And who would have thought that after benching Bryce Young, the Carolina Panthers would have their first win of the season? Now, tonight's game will be the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Football Giants. The Dallas Cowboys are coming off a loss against the Baltimore Ravens, in which they tried to come back, but unfortunately there was not enough time. And the New York Football Giants are coming off a win against the Cleveland Browns, in which they got to Deshaun Watson a bunch of times. This is a division rival, and every single time that the Giants and the Cowboys have played at the Giants, the score has been less than 45. So I'm going to keep the track going, and I'm going to have the Dallas Cowboys beating the New York Football Giants 21-17 heading into week number 5. Next, the first game of 1 o'clock is going to be my Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints, who are both coming off a loss. New Orleans losing to Philadelphia in a very close game, and Atlanta losing to Kansas City in a game that I don't really think that I saw Atlanta winning at all. But still, this is also going to be a division rival. But considering the fact that we're actually catching New Orleans at a perfect time, I think that even though we're catching New Orleans at a perfect time, I think that's going to be a blip on the radar because Rashid Shaheed had 0 catches for 4 targets, and I'm definitely sure had he caught one of those targets, he would have probably had at least over 50 yards, and he would have been a game changer for the New Orleans Saints. So in this instance, I think the Falcons are going to come off losing against the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're going to lose against the New Orleans Saints 24-14. Next up, we have the Denver Broncos versus the New York Jets. And surprisingly, you think that the Jets would be a favorite to win here, but considering that the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix just came off a very good performance last week, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's going to be a very close game. But in the end, I'm going to have the New York Football Jets beating the Denver Broncos 17-16 in a 1-point game, with a field goal winning it at the end. Another division rival is going to be Minnesota versus Green Bay. Now, Minnesota versus Green Bay is going to be a very interesting game because obviously Jordan Love is not going to be playing, and Malik Willis is going to be starting. They're going to be facing against Sam Darnold, and possibly without, I believe, Justin Jefferson, because I believe he's dealing with injury right now. I believe Sam Darnold is actually dealing with injury. But I still expect this to be a very close game. And just considering how good Sam Darnold has been consistently playing over the past 3 games, I'm going to give the win to the Minnesota Vikings here. Minnesota beat the Green Bay Packers 22-19 and continue on being undefeated. Philadelphia against Tampa Bay. Philadelphia, like I said, is coming off a win against the New Orleans Saints. Tampa Bay is coming off a loss against the Denver Broncos. I see this being a very close game because I just do not think that this is going to be a game where Philadelphia is going to stop Tampa Bay from scoring points. And we all know Baker Mayfield, if he can get the ball to his number 1 target, which is Mike Evans, we all know what he can do. So I think this game is going to be a game that stays over at least 40 points, possibly even over 35. And I think the score of this game is going to be 24-21 to the Philadelphia Eagles heading into the next game. Cincinnati at Carolina. This one's going to be a one that I don't really know where to go with this because Cincinnati just came off a loss against the Washington Commanders, and the Carolina Panthers came off a win against the Las Vegas Raiders this past week. And if Andy Dalton, who's going to be facing his former team, the Cincinnati Bengals, the team that he was at for so long in his career, it's going to be a very interesting game. But I just don't see the Cincinnati Bengals coming off a loss against the Commanders and losing back-to-back games, especially against the Carolina Panthers and where the Carolina Panthers are right now. So Cincinnati is going to win this game. I still expect the Carolina Panthers to score at least 2 touchdowns, 27-14 to Cincinnati. Jaguars at Houston. Jaguars coming off a horrible loss against the Buffalo Bills, and Houston Texans are actually coming off a horrible loss as well to the Minnesota Vikings. And another division rival matchup. I don't know. This week just feels like it's a lot of division rival games, and obviously there's going to be this coming along over the coming weeks. But still, Houston versus Jacksonville, I expect to be a very close game considering that this is a division rival. I think every division rival's game should always be a competitive game. But in this instance, Houston's going to pick up coming off the horrible loss, and Jacksonville's going to lose this game. But it's still going to be a close game. I still expect this game to stay within a field goal, 22-19 to the Houston Texans. Pittsburgh at the Colts. I expect this game to be a very low-scoring game. I do not expect both teams to score past 20 points. Anthony Richardson, I love this man. He's a Florida boy. He is a Florida quarterback, and I love this man. He's in my fantasy team, but I can't trust him anymore, and I don't think Jonathan Taylor is going to be enough. Anthony Richardson needs to stop turning over the ball so much. I think he's going to throw a pick in this game, and I think that's going to be what ultimately costs Indianapolis Colts winning this game. Pittsburgh is going to move on to 4-0, and I hope Justin Fields is going to be starting this weekend. Pittsburgh wins 19-14. Final 1 o'clock game, we have Rams versus Chicago Bears. Matthew Stafford came back and beat the San Francisco 49ers in a game that was played in SoFi Stadium, where the Rams were not the favorites because they were playing in their home stadium, but you could saw it in the stadium. There was so much red, and they still won. So I gotta give them congratulations. But I just feel like the Rams are going to give up a lot of points, and Chicago is going to surprisingly win this game 24-19. Now, here's the first of the 4 o'clock games, the 4:05 games. We have Washington against Arizona. Jaden Daniels is definitely the favorite right now to win Rookie of the Year because no matter how he is, he's one of the top. I believe he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and he's a rookie. He's doing exceptionally well, and I have him in my fantasy team. He hasn't been my starting quarterback for the past couple of weeks, and I've been losing because of that. So he's going to be starting this week, and watch, this is going to be the 1 week I have him in my fantasy team, starting quarterback, and he's going to lose. But Arizona's going to win this game 28-14. This one I expect to be a low-scoring game, but I still expect there to be a winner easily. New England Patriots versus the 49ers. 49ers coming off a shocking loss against the Rams. New England basically got blown out by the Jets. I don't really see anything changing. 49ers should win this game 21-17. Cleveland against the Raiders. Cleveland Raiders coming off both losses. I don't really have an expectation for who's really going to win this game. I think it's going to be a very close game considering these two teams are just really, really bad. Deshaun Watson, I don't really trust him anymore, and I don't really think he's that good anymore. But I think the Cleveland Browns are going to win this game 20-18. Moving on into the final 4 o'clock game, we have Kansas City versus the Chargers. Kansas City versus the Chargers. And this game is going to depend on one thing and one thing only. Does Justin Herbert play? Because if Justin Herbert does play, I think that the Chargers have a very good chance. They have a very good running game. And with Isaiah Pacheco going to be out for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be interesting to see. I believe that they just elevated Kareem Hunt into the starting lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see how this. Again, another division rival game, but I have the Kansas City Chiefs losing this game against the Chargers 20-17. 3 games left. The Sunday night game, we have Buffalo against Baltimore. And this one, Buffalo be scoring some points. I can't even lie to you. Buffalo be scoring some points. So I just don't see Baltimore's defense stopping Buffalo. I can see Derrick Henry getting a touchdown in this game. I can see Josh Allen rushing in for a touchdown in this game. But Buffalo's going to win this, no doubt, 31-19. And then the 2 Monday night games. We have Tennessee versus Miami. I don't really need to talk about Miami Dolphins because without Tua at the quarterback position, unless they were to sign someone, and I believe they have Tyler Huntley as one of their quarterbacks on the roster. I believe he's on the practice squad. They're probably going to elevate him up into the active roster. I just don't see anything changing. And surprisingly, even though how bad Will Levis is, I think the Tennessee Titans are going to pick up the win 17-13. And that leaves us with the final Monday night game, which is going to be Seattle versus Detroit. Seattle with Geno Smith. Geno Smith has been very surprisingly good. I mean, last week he came off a win against the Miami Dolphins, but can we really blame him? They beat the Dolphins without Tua. Tyreek wasn't really a factor. They had Skylar Thompson, and I forgot who the backup quarterback that came in after Skylar Thompson got injured, but I can't really give him this. But Detroit, they seem to know how to split the running carries. and I expect that Gibbs and Montgomery are going to get a good amount of carries. But surprisingly, I'm going to have the Seattle Seahawks winning this game 22-17, which means as my official Week 3 or Week 4 NFL predictions, I completely forgot which one, I have 6 home teams winning and 10 away wins. I have the Dallas Cowboys winning, New Orleans, New Orleans, Jets, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, Houston, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Arizona, 49ers, Cleveland, Chargers, Buffalo, Tennessee, and the Seahawks. Tell me what your opinions are in the comments down below. And we're back, guys, and we're better than ever.